The Olympic Coordination Authority is turning a former waste landfill site into a valuable community asset. Station Square to your right is where most people will be arriving to watch the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Its spectacular appearance creates a wonderful sense of excitement and arrival. That is minutes.
The three main building materials of the station are concrete, steel and glass. It also won the Sir John Samuels Award in Europe in 1998 for its actual architecture and design. Very shortly to the right of the bus we'll be actually going past the burner here and also the administration buildings for the armaments depot when it was situated out at Homebush. The actual rose gardens you can see around these buildings are well over 60 years old.
Ahead, you'll see the Novotel Ibis Hotel Complex. The hotel will provide both top-class accommodation as well as rooms accommodating up to 6 people. It is committed to strong environmental principles and is highlighting its commitment by donating $1 to the World Wildlife Fund for Nature for every patient deck, which provides panoramic views of the Olympic site and beyond. We are now approaching Olympic Boulevard at 1.5 kilometres. Our next stop is the Sydney International Aquatic Centre, the home of Olympic swimming, diving and water polo competitions. As well as the competition pools, there is also a diving tower.
And there'll be many more between now and after the Olympic Games. As well as that, the Pan-Pacs were actually held here, and more recently the Telecom Selections Colossus commenced in November 1998 and was fully completed in December 1999 at a cost of $35 million. The main highlight of its area is the circular centre court. You can see during people with optimal seating, and 70% of the seats are covered in shade. As well as that, there's another centre court, 7 match courts, 6 practice.
The Sports Centre, which was opened in 1984, is one of the oldest complexes on site. As we come up to the intersection, you'll see the magnificent Bicentennial Park, which is our next stop.
To the left of the bus, folks, you can see the main outlet line to Lidcombe Railway Station. As you heard on the CD at the beginning of the tour, it's anticipated there'll be a train every 2 minutes, and approximately 50,000 people will pour through Olympic Park Station every hour. During the open in January 1988 to commemorate 200 years of European settlement in Australia, it was opened by the then Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Robert J. Hawke, and the then Premier of New South Wales, Burry Unsworth. Before it was
energetic, there are 8 kilometres of walking, jogging and cycling tracks. A kiosk near the Visitors Centre provides refreshments. At the Visitors Centre, you can book a tour on the Wetlands Explorer train, or you can spend time in the mangrove forest on floating boardwalks and see part of the lunch. You can relax by Lake Belvedere, a good place to stop for lunch, to feed the ducks, or see the huge eels that live in its waters.
To the left, the Bussums Creek, to the right, the waters of Homebush Bay.
On the left, we'll see the Sydney International Archery Park and the Pole Forest. The Pole Forest is a linear and geometric sculpture at a platform edge or at a bus stop. The height at the end of the wharf is adjustable by a remote control, allowing a range of different boats to use it with minimum fuss. Sydney Ferries operate Rivercat services to this wharf from Circular Quay. If you're intending to take the meeting from 1897 to 1942, and American and British bunkers built from 1942. Features of the road and rail system on the site will also be preserved. It's being developed in 3 stages. The first stage, the section furthest to the right, is well developed and many have already been sold to the public. These houses will be able to be occupied right through the Games. The second stage is permanent housing for the Athletes' Village. At present, it is being developed as modular housing, designed specifically for maximum accommodation throughout the Games. For example, what eventually will be garages and lounge rooms are currently being turned into bedrooms. After the Games, these bedrooms will be converted back to garages and living areas. Our next stop will be at the northern end of the Olympic Boulevard. From here, you can walk to Kronos Hill, one of the highest points on the site. Once on the hill, you'll have a marvellous view of the Olympic site, the city, and the harbour bridge in the distance.
It takes approximately 35 minutes to walk to the top and back down again, and you won't be disappointed with the beautiful panoramic views. We're now coming to the Sydney Superdome and Kronos Hill stop. Anyone wishing to alight the bus, you're quite welcome to, and the next Explorer bus will be here in 15 minutes.
Australia, the largest outdoor venue in modern Olympic history. During the Olympic and Paralympic Games, it will seat 110,000 people for the opening and closing ceremonies and the track and field competition, as well as the finals of the Olympic football competition. The stadium is a complete entertainment centre with different types of cafes, kiosks, restaurants and bars, with places for seminars and conferences. During construction, the largest crane in Australia, and one of only 2 in the world, was used to lift the arch spans of the roof into place. At 183 metres in height, the crane was equivalent to a 60-storey high building. At its highest point, the stadium... Thank you for visiting Homebush Bay and for travelling on State Transit's Olympic Explorer bus. If you're visiting Sydney, State Transit also have a Sydney and a Bondi Explorer bus and various Sydney Harbour cruises. For further information, call the Transport Info line on 131 500.
Oh, yeah. True. How much they charge? 270.
Yes, for seniors. 270 for seniors and
360 and 270.
so that's right, it's $11.
Well, then there's no seniors. There's the bridge in here. 270. 270, that's 6.
This is with every cent.
Yes, that was the second one. That's the second one. But that was the fourth.
So that's the stadium, is it, down there? Where's the Superdome?
Superdome and Newington, everything's here. Oh, this is fantastic.
What's this one? It's a railway station. get on the Boulevard and stuff like that, so I don't know. Because I'm not going to these, so. And basically, it's only that.